Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Coffee with Casey, where we talk about market conditions. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. How do we know what's coming in the real estate market? And you need visibility. You need to know how much inventory there is, whether it's growing or shrinking in specific towns. What's happening in Haymarket isn't going to do my Vienna sellers very good, very much good. So we need to be very specific of the indicators that we deal with every day, every single day to advise our clients, our agents on whether the market's going up and down. In 2020, I had one of my first shows. I said, there's a perfect storm brewing. And the perfect storm is there's no inventory and interest rates are at 2.5%. I said that is a recipe for an explosion in pricing, in value. So when there's no inventory, prices go up. When interest rates go down, prices go up. Usually the two of those are different, right? At this time, they were both in the same level. And that meant trouble for some. If you're trying to buy a house, you competed against 5, 6, 8, 10, 20 contracts trying to buy a house. That's what happens. So what we need to do in order to sell houses and make sure that we get top dollar for our clients, we have to know, are we competing against one house? Are we competing against 10 houses? Is the trend going up or down? Are interest rates high or low? So we're going to talk today about some of the indicators we use every day. So we're going to start with inventory, okay? Now, again, like I said, inventory doesn't do us much good if we're not in our own region. We need to know what's happening in our own region. So let's start off with inventory by county. Basically, this is the first thing people look at is how is the inventory doing in the markets that we're operating in, right? Okay, so, and by the way, this is a weekly report that goes out. It starts on Thursday, so everybody will have access to this for now. But this is basically for our clients and for our agents. And we are expanding our team. So, we'll be covering more markets. So let's look at the first indicator, which is the 30-day county inventory. So in the past 30 days, Fairfax County has gone up, what is that, 31%. So Fairfax County, all across, you can see everybody's up 20, 25, or 30% in the last 30 days. This is a trending. They are trending up, okay? Inventory is trending up. If you look at the 90-day inventory is trending up. Not as strong, but it is trending up. Now, we can't lose sight that on the right-hand side, this is comparing our inventory today to what it's been over the past 10 years. So we're still way behind, 25, 20, 30% behind the 10-year average. I'm going to show you what that looks like here in a minute. So the bottom, let's go back to the 90-day. We're still way behind on our 90-day inventory from what we've had before, okay? Well, this doesn't, what we really need to do is get granular. So we look at the inventory by city, okay? So in this screen, you see that Vienna is up 71% in its inventory. Now, as a listing agent, I need to know that. We're competing against more people. I need to know, how many people we're dealing with. So if you look in Arlington and McLean, right, their inventory is zip. You look in Vienna, it's strong. Okay, over in Centerville, strong. Haymarket, in the tank, right? So a seller in Haymarket doesn't have as much competition as a seller in Vienna. So you see how this kind of, we need to know this information when we're getting our homes, when we're working with buyers and working with sellers. Now, if I was working with a buyer, I'd say you need to, pack your bags and we need to get over to Vienna, Oakton, and Centerville because we got some serious inventory going on over here. Look at the 90-day inventory. All three are very strong up, okay? Aldi, Ashburn, Haymarket, maybe not so much. So if we look over on the right, how are we compared to the last 10 years, right? Vienna's flat, so that's pretty good. Oakton is even higher now than they were on their 10-year average. But look at everybody else. So the trend is good. The trend is we're getting our inventory back, but we're still far behind where we were in over the last 10 years, right? We got a lot of room to go. So the second thing I want to look at is I want to look at inventory or at success rate. Okay. So when I'm looking at a success rate, this is by city. Okay. So a success rate means if I have 10 homes on the market, how many of those homes are pending? What is the success of the people in that market? So at the top, you can see that in Vienna, 50% of the homes are under contract. Pretty stable market. Now remember, anything under 40 is a buyer's market. Anything over 60 is a seller's market. Anything in the middle, neutral. So if you look across pretty much all the cities other than McLean and Haymarket, which, by the way, answer me, how can Haymarket have no inventory and only have a 37% success rate? The answer is people aren't pricing their houses right. They're not preparing them. Johnny G, our agent in Haymarket, #1 guy in Haymarket, everything he has sells in the first weekend, everything. And yet only 37% of the homes in Haymarket are under contract. If you look down, I split it up into the luxury homes, which are homes over, homes over $1 million. And in some cases in Vienna, luxury homes over 1.5, McLean over 1.5, maybe Haymarket and Centerville is over 1 million. But you can see down in the bottom that all of the homes on the markets, the family homes under $1 million, they're all doing great. In fact, most of them are in sellers markets. If you look at luxury homes, almost all of them are in buyers markets, right? The average is 32%. That is a buyer market. So the question is, if inventory is 10 years behind, why are only 23% of the homes in McLean, 29% of the homes in Vienna that are listed like that, why are they under contract? Why aren't more? Well, the answer is people see prices go up and they keep pricing them up, but they have to understand, that only 30% of the homes are under contract over $1.5 million in Vienna. So you cannot overprice. You cannot underprepare for these homes. You just got to be ready for them. Okay. So the first thing we want to look at is inventory. The second thing we want to look at is success rate when we're doing this. And then the third thing, which is really important, is pricing. Okay. So pricing is the way you do pricing is you say, give me a 3,000 square foot home built in 1990. What does that home sell for throughout the Northern Virginia area, which is our target market? So I'm looking for a 3,000 square foot house in Haymarket. It's worth $893,000. In McLean, it's worth $1.779 million. That's a 30-minute track from one market to the other. And for that, basically it's cut in half. The price is cut in half. Okay. Now, why is this chart very important? If I'm selling a home in Vienna and Oakton, then I'm poaching buyers from McLean. There are buyers looking in McLean at a 3,000 square foot house that costs almost $1.8 million. Well, we're selling ours at $1.4 million. So when we do our marketing to Vienna, Oakton, maybe even Centerville, we're marketing to more expensive markets. So the Centerville buyer, right, may be looking in Vienna and Oakton. Let's drag them out to Centerville where they can save $400,000. If our listing is in Vienna, we're marketing to McLean. We're marketing to Arlington. And I will tell you that 70% of our buyers, it works. It's coming from McLean and Arlington. And I will tell you what, our listings sell at we had a listing sell for $100,000 over list price, and the seller was disappointed. I'm like, well, 70% of the homes over 1.5 are not selling. We not only sold, but we only sold, and we not only sold, but we sold for $100,000 over list price. And you could kind of feel the disappointment. It's like, look, we have magic, and the magic is selling them right out of the gate, and getting a premium price for them. But we have to set expectations that $100,000 over list price is pretty good when only 29% of the homes are under contract. But you can see why this chart is so important. It illustrates, and of course, the blue line is the prices in 2020. The orange line is the price in 2023, and the green line is prices in 2024. Okay, so you can see the appreciation as we go through. You can also see where we are now, right? So when I'm with a buyer and you're in Oakton and you're saying, I cannot find a home, I mean, my budget's $1 million and I can't buy a 3,000 square foot home in Vienna. Well, you can in Centerville, and you can in Aldi, and you can in Ashburn, and you can in Haymarket. So the question is, where is that? Where is your Sheridan, as I like to say? Where is your Sheridan? When I say where is the Sheridan, quick story, one year we were young and the family came over from England and we had to buy all the hotel rooms. And I didn't have that much money back then. I still have that much money, but I didn't want to, I couldn't spend a lot of money on these hotels. So we went to a flea bag and I just couldn't sleep there. And we went down the street to another flea bag and I just could not lay my head down on that pillow. So we kept moving down the road, and it turns out that the least I could live with was the Sheridan, right? So we ended up all being at the Sheridan. So the question is, I know with your pricing, you're looking for certain places, but you have to know, if you're not comfortable putting your head down, you need to know where to go to put your head down. So you need to know what your Sheridan is. What's your standard that you can live with, right? So these are the indicators that we've gone through. Now we've gone through the inventory, we've gone through the success rate, we've gone through the pricing. So all of this is critical information for sellers and buyers, but more importantly, it's critical for the agents, right? So let's summarize this. So now we're going to look at a summary for Fairfax County, and then we're going to move through some of the other towns, okay? So this is a market summary for Fairfax County, all right? So there's the inventory up on top in the last 30 days, and then versus the 10-year average. Now look at to your right on this chart. See how they were all up in the 1500s? See how right now there's 750, 980? Yes, we're up, but we're up compared to what? Nothing, right? Look at 2020. That's when, remember when I said the perfect storm? There's the perfect storm. Inventory went down, interest rates went down at the same time. So we called that one right on the bug. Now, with inventory down low, it's still the time to sell. Time to sell. Because if inventory goes up, what happens to prices? Prices come back down. Sellers are still going. Sellers are moving right now. So inventory is coming back on a 30-day and a 90-day basis. We're still way behind on the 10-year average, and that's what it looks like. Down here is the success rate. In all of Fairfax County, 42% of the homes are under contract. Now, what does that tell you? 40% is a buyer's market. Fairfax County is a whisker away from a buyer's market. So under $1 million, 45%, over $1 million, clearly in a buyer's market. Clearly in a buyer. Well, look at Loudoun County. Loudoun County is already in a buyer's market. So they're averaging 36%, right? So, Loudoun County but right this second, we're focused on Fairfax County. And then once you get to a county, you can break it down into cities, right? So this is Vienna. This is where we're going to operate. I don't care about any other place but where I'm selling a house, right? So my inventory is up 71%. That's a little flag. I need to know that we're pretty strong right now in inventory. Even though we're only up 33% over the last 90 days, this is saying that I'm up 71% in the last 30 days. That's pretty strong. So now I'm going to look at the success rate. 50%, okay? We're dead neutral in Vienna, but look at over $1.5 million where we live. So we put a lot of homes on the market over 1.5 million. That is 29% under contract, which means that 71% of the homes are just sitting there, right? So we look at value, and I'm going to stop here for a second. Let's look at value. A 3,000 square foot house sells for about $1.4 million. That's up 5% over last year, which is about average, 35%, which is again about average for the area. So I know that these numbers are very important. Now, the other day, we had a home in Aldi in a special area that we had no comps for. And I mean, no comps. It could be anywhere from 1.7 to $2 million. So that's a huge, huge span. The last homes that sold, the last cluster of homes that sold was in 2020. So the last place we could get a firm grip on what that home was worth was in 2020. So we priced it in 2020. In 2020 is worth $1.3 million. Got it. No doubt about it. If the rest of that area, and I'm talking Aldi is where we were, the rest of that area, all of those homes appreciated 62%, 62% over the last 4 years. But the average for everybody else is about 40, right? So here's the way we did it. We said, well, if it was worth 1.3 in 2020 and everybody else appreciated 40%, but Aldi, where we are, did 60%. I said, let's take a conservative number of 50%. Let's say it appreciated 50% since the 1.3 million. So what is 1.3 times 1.5? We come to 1.95 million, which is the value of that house. You need to, when you have no comps, you need to make certain assumptions. So assuming that his house went up 50% when the rest of the counties all went up 40, but Aldi went up 60, we said it's going to appreciate 50%, which is conservative. Could it go to 2.1 million? Absolutely. Absolutely. So, you know, that can happen, right? But this number right here, if I don't have comps and I can get a firm grasp on where it was last year or in 2020, I can predict what the value of that house is compared to everybody else. So this is a report that we're going to have for all of the markets that we deal in. Each agent that's a stud in that market will be right here, right? And you'll have some of the best agents in Northern Virginia and eventually Maryland will be up here. But when I go to a listing appointment, this is what goes with me. I mean, I will show this to the sellers. The other place this gets updated every Thursday. So on Thursdays, we need to decide when we have a listing, and I'm going to shut these down right now. We need to decide, are we at the right number? Is this the right number? Can we get a buyer pool to walk into this house on, can we get a buyer, is the buyer pool here? Are they coming to see the home? If they don't come, we can't sell it. We need to make sure they're coming. So the predictive analysis is go off at 135 and you're coming soon. Do all of your marketing. Then let's see if they're coming. Because I got to make a call on Thursday. Do we drop it $50,000 to 1.3? Or do we go ahead and launch the listing live at 1.35? Now, I've said this 1,000 times. Agents will come to me with a problem. It's not selling. What are we going to do? How are we going to do it? Did you do a predictive analysis? Well, no, we just wanted to launch. Well, what do you mean, no, you wanted to? You cannot launch a listing without doing a predictive analysis. I would never list a home without doing a predictive analysis. I need to know, am I at the right number? And let me tell you, we're the best pricers you'll ever meet. Ever meet. But we need to test the number to see, are you guys there? And if you're not there, we need to move to another number. Now, the track record shows that if we go from 135 back down to 1.3, we're going to get 1.4. You know, I'm going to get about 100,000 over what we go down to. So it's successful and everything sells and we have control. And no, we don't do home inspections. We don't do any home inspections. I told everybody, Bob Lamb inspects every house. He provides a 100-page report on every one of our listings that we do. And we give that to the seller, and that's it, or to the buyer, and that's it. You have 7 contracts, that's it. So what we talked about today is the indicators that are critical to determining buyer and market reaction. We have the cause, which is interest rates and inventory. We have the effect, which tells us, it obviously lets us read the market of what's happening, of success rate and pricing. And you put those together, and you put them together by the county, so we have a big picture, and then by the city, because if I'm listing a house in Haymarket, I need Haymarket. I need Haymarket, right? So these reports will be available soon. Julie is coming up with the format where you can go to our market snapshot. You can hit Fairfax County. There's Fairfax County's report, and there's the different cities in Fairfax County. You hit Loudoun County, there's the Loudoun County report, and there's the towns that we are going to cover in Loudoun County. Now, again, right this second, Johnny G's in Haymarket. Ferris is in Aldi. Pat's in Centerville. We're in Vienna. So these markets are locked in. We are bringing in some very big hitters from Ashburn, McLean. We're bringing in big hitters to the team, and we will start producing these pages for those areas as well. Okay? Time for the team to expand. We'll start covering more of this. But if you're a seller and you want to know, if you're a stat geek and you want to know what's going on in the real estate market, go to Market Snapshot, hit Fairfax County, find your town, and there you go. You know exactly what's going to happen. I use them on every listing appointment and every predictive analysis, and they're critical to helping us through the real estate market. You've been listening to Coffee with Casey. My name is Casey Samson. You can reach me at 703-508-2535. We'll see you again next week. Bye now.